Hey guys, welcome. This is Ben from eCounter Jumpers. Welcome to the video and thank you very much for clicking on it in the first place. In this video, I would like to share some thoughts and some ideas around how to create a solid business plan for your Amazon FBA venture, which could potentially help you to secure £17,000 to kickstart your business and get it rolling and make sure that you could eventually leave your 9 to 5. The very first thing that I'd like to mention as a major warning and disclaimer that unless you have £400 spare every month in your bank account for the foreseeable future, do not go ahead and proceed and apply for a business loan, because A, you will unlikely to be to approve for it in the first place, but secondly, even if you do get approved and something comes up like an active card or something and you end up being out of pocket, you won't be able to fund that £400 from your personal bank account, and the business is still early stages, pardon me, and you're not able to pay back from your monthly profit from the fledgling and young business, then you might get into a bit of a debt and a very stressful situation, which I really want you guys to avoid. So this is the major first thing. Make sure that you have at least £400 spare that you would not need, you can live without, you can save easily, and use that to keep paying the installments for this personal loan, this business loan that I'm going to discuss in the next 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes. So the first things first, obviously, a lot of videos are flying around on YouTube saying you don't necessarily need a business plan to build an Amazon FBA business. You can hop on YouTube, you can hop on Quora, you can hop on various forums and create like a wealth of information just available online. But the problem with that, in my personal opinion, as an Amazon FBA seller myself, is that obviously just based on that information, you can go to a bank or you can go to an institution and say, hey, I've got this solid plan, I've got this idea, I've got this business verification, can you please give me money so I can grow faster? They're obviously going to laugh you out of the room or even via email, and they're not going to give you anything. However, if you do approach this from a very entrepreneurial and business point of view and business mindset point of view, and create a solid business plan and a strategy, then it is more than likely to for these financial institutions available in the UK to take you very seriously and say, okay, that sounds like a solid plan, solid strategy. Let's go ahead and build something together. Ultimately, the point is that the more small businesses and small medium-sized businesses there are, the more profit tax and VAT are being paid to the UK government, which is ultimately good for them. So it is in their interest to boost and stimulate that sector and enjoy a very buoyant and vibrant business economy, small business economy in the UK, so that obviously the government can reap the benefits of it. And by creating these institutions and government schemes for funding, they can ensure that obviously everybody is walking away happy, ideally. Now let's talk about the business plan itself in a bit more detail. There are 9-10 points that we need to go through in bigger detail before it gets to its full shape and full kind of round kind of state. And the first one that you really need to discuss and discuss with yourself or your business partner and think about is the executive summary. But the executive summary is basically what the entire business plan is about, what the business is about. It spans across a couple of points around business definition. What is the business actually that you want to do? In this case, obviously, it's going to be Amazon FBA, e-commerce, selling products on the biggest online retail platform in the country, in the United Kingdom and globally as well. And basically a bit more verbose description of the type of business that you're going to run. Within that, there are a couple other points that need to obviously go into bigger detail and describe, like the problem solved, what's your company USP, how you tested the market, what's the business case verification, what's the objectives of the business plan, and so on and so forth, and obviously a brief reference to the management team, which could be just yourself or maybe yourself and a partner, And probably the last point within the executive summary is maybe like a paragraph or two around the success factors that you have and you believe as a business has got like a unique advantage over your competitors or in the market, something that's going to set you up for success and ensure for the institution that's going to lend you the money that the money is not going to be lost, it's going to be returned with interest, with a modest interest. So that's definitely a key part of the executive summary. The second one is basically key people. The key people section of the business plan contains information about your profile and your business partner's profile, your joint work experience, whether it's got anything to do with the sector that you are in or not really, which is not necessarily a problem, but ideally you would have some sort of online marketing, online e-commerce, or some sort of a sales experience if you are going to launch an Amazon FBA business, so that the committee that's going to, or the person who's going to oversee your application is going to have some peace of mind and confidence that your skills and experience that you built up in your 9-to-5 job, in your professional life, has got something to do with the type of venture that you're going to launch off the back of this business plan. And obviously, based on this information, you would need to put down some key skills, whether it's around, again, for e-commerce, could be around, say, Amazon SEO optimization or PPC skills, or maybe having experience in e-commerce operations or fashion retail operations that gives them, again, more information that, okay, how the purchasing cycle, how the purchasing process works from suppliers from China, from Vietnam, from India, wherever, in your personal or professional life, through like all the the purchasing chains and buying chains, how it lands in the UK as a market, how it's get processed, and so forth. So all these key skills that, again, is relevant to the Amazon FBA business or somewhat related to it anyway, can be a very useful part of the key people section of the business plan. The third one is the SWOT analysis. The SWOT analysis, or SWOT as a term, unless you're familiar with it already, stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And as the name suggests, the terminology suggests, you have to go through each of these 4 points and basically, again, give more information and meat on the bone around all these points to have to draw and paint a very clear picture of the ecosystem and of the environment you're going to go into. Like strengths being obviously the strong points of the business and the environment. Say, for instance, e-commerce as an industry, as a sector, enjoying continuous boon and growth from the 2008s or even earlier, and keeps carry on going up. I think there's a very good stat from eMarketer and other e-commerce related online industry press that you can have a very nice graph and probably even insert into the SWOT element of the SWOT section of the business plan to showcase this growth and again back it up as a strong point in the business plan. With weaknesses, equally, you could say by having a business that's reliant on just one sales platforms, Amazon could be a bit of weakness and something that you just need to put down, because it's better to be more realistic about the whole situation than saying, oh, this is an all-seeing, done-seeing business and plan and a foolproof strategy, and there's nothing that can go wrong, because with every business and every situation, something can go wrong. And as long as you're aware of the potentially weak links and weak situations and pressure points, and you put them down under the weakness section of SWOT analysis, I think all the more legitimacy and confidence that you're going to gain with the person who's going to overview your application. Obviously, the threats one is also a very interesting one. You need to be aware of, say, other Amazon third-party sellers coming on board, or even a threat could be a situation whereby your product is going to be hijacked by Amazon itself, and so on and so forth. So these things that you do need to put them down under the threat situation or the threat section in the SWOT analysis. And at last but not least, And the opportunities one is also a key element, which gives the person who's looking at your business plan again some sort of idea that are you trying to just put everything in one basket, or all your eggs in one basket and just focus on one area, or you are open to other opportunities, other channels, other products, other brands, literally other opportunities that can diversify the risk and your sales and profit income stream for this business. Therefore, it has a more solid foundation and long-term success expectation from this person. The next step, in the business plan, is probably the most boring one, but all the more important one, if not the most important one. It's the financial summary. The financial summary includes elements like your personal or survival budget. So in this case and in this situation, it is very, very important. It is vital that you have pretty much like a solid 9-to-5 job that you can rely on full time and not have any kind of problems, paying the bills, buying food, like, I don't know, paying for petrol if you drive to work and so on and so forth, like looking after obviously your children and make sure that they are fed and watered, yada, 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 and to ensure that the loan that's going to be provided to you upon successful application is not going to be used for silly purposes and for personal purchases. Therefore, this section has to give the financial institution a very clear view of how much outgoings you have on a monthly basis. What are your expenses broken down to the very smallest detail and nitty-gritty detail, and what is the income stream or income streams that ensures that these are all met and ticked off, and you don't have any problems in your personal survival budget situation. And above and beyond that, if you put down in other sections like other alternative funding options, like that, it can include your savings, or it can include, say, an opportunity to draw against your mortgage, or something else, or maybe sell your car, like assets that you can put down again as an alternative source of funding, which also helps, because if you are someone who's like entirely broke and you've got nothing going on for you except debts, which is a very sorry situation, but nevertheless, in this case, the lender is probably gonna rank you as very high as a risk to lend money to, because if something goes wrong, they would rather you liquidate some assets that you have, whether again like goods or cars or some sort of other assets, than to just have a risk of them losing their own money. So the alternative funding options are definitely important. You could even put down, if you again, very, very important, if you are more than capable of paying back installments, you can put down a credit card. Say you haven't used a credit card that you've got like £3,500 on, you've got a zero balance on it, but you have the ability to, upon and above and beyond the £400 minimum installment that you would potentially get from the external financial institution to fund your business, above and beyond that, on top of that, if you used your personal credit card and bought something, or bought, say, products or samples or something on your personal credit card, and you would have all of a sudden £150, £200 monthly installment on that personal credit card, you would still be able to pay that back. So, but that credit card as an alternative funding option or source, as an extra asset to draw against, is something that you can put down and you should put down when doing the financial summary. Cash flow forecasting is very important in the financial summary section of the business plan as well. You need to include the sales price, the expected conversion rate, the traffic onto your listings, and so on and so forth, to give, and also equally obviously the expenses, or the monthly expenses they're going out every month, and for the evaluator to see how your cash flow for the business is going to look like. Is it always going to be on the downside or negative side, or is it going to break even and then going to turn into an upward trend, which is obviously the case. So this again is something that we need to be very realistic with in the first 2 months, especially when you're starting out. First 2, maybe 3 months, you're definitely going to be in the minus, which is fine. if if it's turned around and it's realistically turning around with your products, once your first two, three, four products gets some sort of traction in the market or markets that you're selling, then obviously those expenses, initial just expenses or majorly or in majority expense items in the first beginning is going to turn into a positive balance in terms of cash flow the third, fourth month down the line when there's more traffic and more rankings in your Amazon portfolio. So that's definitely fine. But in terms of cash flow, you need to be very accurate or try to be as much like honest and truthful to the plan as possible. And at last but not least, the projected profit and loss is also something that you need to be very candid about. It's entirely fine if you put down, say, £1,000 profit or even just a very minute amount of profit down on the sheet. But you do need to, like for the first year anyway, but you do need to be, again, realistic and down to earth with those estimations to ensure that you will be granted the money and you'll be successful. And after the financial summary, which is like a very concise sheet, Excel sheet of numbers and information, you also need to give some ideas around obviously how you're going to market your products. Marketing is a separate section in the business plan that you need to be very detailed about how you're going to advertise your products, how you're going to price the products, what's your strategy around that, what's your, say, alternative marketing that doesn't necessarily require a lot of money and investment, or you're going to put a lot of money into Amazon PPC to fuel the growth of your listing and your traffic. So all those things you do need to put down as a marketing strategy, which can again revolve around anything just on the Amazon platform, or you could alternatively launch, say, a product forum or a video review section that you rank your video very high, create an excellent product demo, product launch video that you launch on YouTube and viral networks, and it just takes off and drives traffic to your product listing, and boom, it takes off. So again, all these things, your marketing ideas, a marketing strategy, and how you're going to execute it is something that needs to go down into the marketing section of the business plan. Now, again, a not so interesting and not so glamorous section, but the operations side of things is yet another key element in the business plan you need to put down. So the financial institution and the lender needs to understand that apart from you having a great idea, a great marketing plan, and all that malarkey, you also have a very solid grip on how you manage with suppliers, how you work with Chinese factories. What's your freight forwarding situation like? How much it's going to cost? Who's going to talk to them? What's the sequence of things in which certain things are going to happen in order to ensure that that product is going to be landing your target market, your primary market, where it's going to be stored, how it's going to be managed, processed, and so on and so forth. So all the operational side of things, which basically the backbone of a business, or again, like the heart and soul of a business, and the pumping blood and electricity around the business has to be nailed down to the T in order to ensure that your business plan is going to have very high appeal and obviously a big green approval stamp on it, and that will eventually result you in up to £17,000 worth of external funding. So again, operations, very important. Make sure you put down everything that you can think of and everything that you may potentially have learned from a course to give, again, a huge boost of confidence in the evaluators' eyes and minds. Again, yet another one, legal matters. Legal matters is typically a headache for most people and can be complicated to understand. A lot of terms and conditions, a lot of legal mumbo jumbo that for us everyday people is like, oh my God, I don't know what's going on. But again, very, very important. You have to make sure that obviously the company has got legally it's a limited liability company. That's obviously the very foundations and essence of having a company like that. But also what's going to happen, what's your terms and conditions of working with suppliers, with Alibaba, with Amazon? What's the contractual relationship between your business as an Amazon FBA seller and the two biggest platforms, these mammoths and these giants that you're going to work very closely with? being, as I said, Alibaba and Amazon. Do they have any sort of legal loopholes or legal clauses that can be a big issue and a big threat for your business? And you need to put these things down. Like, you need to include the terms of your relationship with both of these companies and any other company that is going to have a key element in your entire business, whether it's again from purchasing from a separate site or an individual standalone factory from another country, or whether it's a different sales platform that you're going to hop on and sell your product on. So these things, very important, have to be put down again in the legal matters section of the business plan. And I probably, if you have some friends in the legal sector, I would probably recommend you just asking them to cast their eyes over them and just give any additional points that would be worth putting down to give again a better ranking and the better chances for your business plan to go through the net. And the last but one point on the business plan is contingency. Contingency is the area where you really need to channel your inner skeptic and say, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if, say, the freight forwarder who's got your order and is shipping your products over the sea or over the everyone's heads in the sky, it eventually just goes bust and cannot deliver your products or goods? What if the Amazon shuts down, or what if any major risk of disruption? What happens then? How is it going to affect your business? Is it going to cripple it, or do you have any kind of contingency plans? Surprise, that can help resolve the situation? Do you have any kind of plan Bs? Any kind of safety nets that can ensure the longevity of this business and ensure that you can have a very sudden course correction, and to ensure that this is going to keep carrying on and it's going to be able to, obviously from a financial institution's point of view, to be able to repay those installments throughout the course and lifetime of the term, and ensure that the money is not lost. So that's also a key element and a very important part. And probably the last one, definitely the last one, is obviously the summary. You need to go through all these things that you've written down, all the important elements and ingredients of a good and reliable business plan, and just summarize it in bullet points and in shorter paragraphs, so that the person who's gone through all this business plan, all this detail, then going to have a refresher, a recap of, say, okay, we addressed the key people, we addressed the financial summary situation, we have addressed the SWOT, we have addressed the USB and so on and so forth, and finally a bit of a self-promotional kind of boost in the summary section, that the reason why we believe that this business is going to be successful is because X, Y, Z, 3-4 bullet points, where you give the person a killer blow, say, okay, this guy or this gal or these people, these business people are up to the task, up to the challenge, ready to take the bull by its horn, and our money is in safe hands, again from a financial institution's point of view. So the summary, the total summary of the business plan is again probably just as important of a part as the executive summary. So both at the beginning and the end, summarizing the overall plan is important to make a lasting impression in somebody's head, and just boost that confidence. Say, okay, this sounds like a plan. This is solid. I can see the work has been put into this. And there is potential in this, backed up by evidence and numbers and all that. And obviously there are some other things that you can add into the appendix, like, say, if you've got some product photographs or custom designs or anything that can improve the appeal of the overall plan and shows more effort going into the operation of the business, can definitely boost and be a positive bonus in the business plan. So something that you are more than welcome to put down and attach to the business plan itself. And if you like the description, and if you like the the information that I provided in this video, but at the same time you're a little bit terrified, a little bit scared about the complexity and the difficulty that it may come with the business plan, I would just recommend clicking on one of the links below in the description, where I've shown you how my business plan actually granted me £17,000 or worth of funding from startuploans.co.uk. Again, a government supported and funded government scheme, and a group of financial institutions basically who provide lending for startups, such as myself and yourselves. And if you do like the information that I put down here, go and check out the landing page, the business plan that made me successful in applying for the £17,000. £17,000. It costs £99. So it's basically an ROI of 171 or something. So incredibly valuable. It also comes with a 1-hour consulting session where I speak to you, obviously via Skype or something, and we discuss any other questions that you may have. And I guide you through the entire process and ensure that you have everything you need to be able to secure this funding for yourself and for your business. And at last but not least, if you do find again that it was valuable, it was honest, it was straightforward, then please hit the like button, comment by all means any questions you may have, and if you've got anybody else who could be benefiting from this information, from this video, please also share it with them via the share button, and I look forward to potentially speaking with you online or answering your questions in the comment section. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good day. Bye.